May 9, 1980. Wesley McIntyre drives his pickup through blinding fog. At 7:33 in the morning, the road vanishes. He falls 150 feet, but a miracle happens. His truck strikes the ship's deck, breaking the lethal impact before sinking. McIntyre kicks free from the submerged cab. The crew of the very ship that destroyed the bridge pulls him from the water. He is the only survivor. The Sunshine Skyway Bridge. Opened 1954. Total length, 4.14 miles. Structure type, steel cantilever truss. At the time of completion, it is the longest bridge in the world. It spans Tampa Bay, Florida, carrying traffic over one of the busiest shipping channels on the Gulf Coast. The main span rises 150 feet above the waterline to allow passage of deep draft vessels. The bridge rests on reinforced concrete piers sunk into the bay floor. These piers are the structure's critical load-bearing points. Remove one, and the cantilever truss above it loses its equilibrium. The entire span depends on every support column remaining intact. The original design includes a protective system, clusters of wooden pilings known as dolphins installed around the most vulnerable piers. Their function is to absorb or deflect the impact of any vessel that drifts off the shipping channel. It is a standard safeguard for bridges built over navigable waterways. There is one problem. Wood deteriorates in salt water. By the late 1960s, those wooden dolphins have rotted to the point of structural failure. They are not repaired. They are not replaced. The piers of the Sunshine Skyway stand exposed. Between 1969 and 1980, vessels strike the bridge's support piers 7 times. 7 impacts in 11 years. Each time, the concrete columns absorb the blow. Each time, the bridge remains standing. Each time, authorities note the incident, file a report, and take no corrective action. 7 warnings. 7 chances to install reinforced protection. 7 opportunities ignored. The MV Summit Venture, a bulk carrier, was foreign flagged. It measured 609 feet in length, with a displacement of 20,000 tons. On the morning of May 9, 1980, she rode empty, with no cargo. Her hull sat high in the water, exposing a massive surface area to the wind. An empty bulk carrier in a crosswind behaves like a 600-foot steel sail. These are the 2 variables converging on Tampa Bay, an unprotected bridge, and a ship the wind can push sideways. All that was missing was the weather. 6:30 a.m. Harbor pilot John Lero boards the Summit Venture at the mouth of Tampa Bay. Lero is a licensed pilot with extensive experience navigating this channel. He knows every marker buoy, every current pattern between the open Gulf and the inner harbor. This is routine work. Weather conditions at boarding are overcast, with light rain and moderate visibility. No severe warnings were issued. Lero checks the radar. It is functioning normally. He confirms the approach heading and begins guiding the Summit Venture toward the Skyway Bridge. 6:50 a.m. Conditions shift. A white squall, a sudden violent downburst of wind and rain, forms over the bay with almost no advance warning. Within seconds, moderate rain becomes a solid curtain of water. Visibility drops to 0. Lero cannot see the bow of his own vessel. 7:10 a.m. He turns to the radar. The screen returns nothing but static. The rainfall is so dense that every ping bounces back from billions of water droplets. The display is useless. Lero is now guiding 20,000 tons of steel with no instruments and no visual references. Wind gusting above 50 knots hits the ship's exposed hull and pushes her steadily to port. 7:30 a.m. The rain thins for a fraction of a second. Lero sees the concrete piers of the Sunshine Skyway directly ahead. Distance is a few hundred feet. Time to impact, less than 30 seconds. He gives the only orders available. Full reverse on both engines. Emergency anchor drop. The physics are absolute. 20,000 tons cannot stop in a few hundred feet. The anchors drag. The propellers churn. The Summit Venture barely decelerates. 7:33 a.m. The bow of the motor vessel. Summit Venture strikes the main support pier of the Sunshine Skyway Bridge's southbound span. The mechanics of the collapse are straightforward. A cantilever truss bridge distributes load through a precise balance of forces across its support points. When the Summit Venture destroys the pier, that balance is instantly and irreversibly broken. The truss section above the destroyed pier has nothing to hold it. Gravity takes over. 1,300 feet of roadway, steel, concrete, and asphalt twists off its remaining supports and falls into Tampa Bay. The collapse takes seconds. The sound carries for miles. The shriek of tearing steel, the deep concussion of massive sections hitting water. Lero's voice breaks over the marine radio channel. The transmission is frantic, stripped of all professional composure. Mayday! Mayday! The Skyway Bridge is down. Stop all traffic on that bridge. But traffic is already on the bridge. The southbound span is carrying vehicles through rain and fog. Drivers have no warning, no signal, no indication that the road ahead has been severed. They drive at highway speed toward an edge that did not exist 3 seconds ago. 6 passenger cars go over, 1 pickup truck, 1 Greyhound bus. The drop from the roadway to Tampa Bay is 150 feet. A falling object covers that distance in roughly 3 seconds, reaching approximately 67 miles per hour. At that velocity, water behaves like a solid. The deceleration forces are equivalent to hitting concrete. For unprotected human bodies inside vehicles, the impact is not survivable. The Greyhound bus carries 26 passengers, university students, commuters, people on routine Friday trips. It drops 150 feet and strikes the surface intact. All 26 are killed on impact. 6 passenger cars carry 8 people. All 8 die. 1 vehicle produces a different outcome. Wesley McIntyre's pickup clears the edge but strikes the deck of the Summit Venture, the ship that destroyed the bridge, and the intermediate impact decelerates the truck before it bounces into the water. The truck sinks. McIntyre, battered and disoriented, breaks free of the submerged cab and surfaces. Crewmen aboard the Summit Venture pull him out. Without that collision with the ship's deck, a matter of feet in his trajectory, McIntyre hits the bay at full speed. He does not survive. The ricochet saves his life. 35 dead. 1 survivor. The inquiry focuses on 3 questions. Was the pilot negligent? Was the ship's equipment adequate? Was the bridge properly protected? Pilot John Lero acted within established protocols. He checked the weather before departure. When conditions deteriorated, he attempted to maintain course using all available instruments. When radar failed, he relied on dead reckoning, the only option left. When he sighted the bridge piers, he executed emergency procedures, including full reverse thrust and anchor deployment. Every action was correct. Every action was insufficient. The jury acquits Lero of all charges. But the investigation identifies the true cause. It is not the weather. It is not pilot error. It is infrastructure neglect. The wooden dolphins that should have protected the bridge piers had decayed beyond function years earlier. They were never rebuilt. 7 prior collisions demonstrated the vulnerability. No protective measures were implemented. The state of Florida maintained a bridge over a major shipping lane with no effective collision defense on its most critical structural elements. Lero is acquitted by the court. He is not acquitted by his own conscience. The psychological toll is severe and unrelenting. He develops multiple sclerosis, a condition researchers associate with extreme chronic stress. He leaves active piloting and turns to teaching, lecturing maritime students on the consequences of systemic failure. His message to students is blunt. If you make a mistake out there, you will pay for it in hell. Lero dies in 2002. He never escapes May 9th. The state of Florida commissions a new Sunshine Skyway Bridge. It opens in 1987, 7 years after the disaster. The design is fundamentally different. It is a cable-stayed bridge, and its most critical feature is invisible from the roadway. Around every major pier, engineers install massive reinforced concrete islands, dolphins, each one engineered to withstand a direct impact from a vessel displacing 87,000 tons. These are not wooden pilings. These are fortress-grade barriers designed for the worst-case scenario. The day before the new bridge officially opens to traffic, a shrimp boat loses control in the channel and strikes one of the protective dolphins at speed. The dolphin holds. The pier behind it is untouched. The bridge does not move. The system works. It works because 35 people died, proving the old system did not. That is the engineering verdict. Protection that should have existed in 1954 was finally installed in 1987. The cost of the delay was not measured in dollars. It was measured in lives, 35 of them.